Okay, as taking a look at something else here. I mean, we were talking about this in the stream, and I don't know, man. It seems like people are pretty divided over this episode. I think everyone in our stream last night was like, "Hey, this is the best episode of the
Right.
season." IGN, Vulture.com, a few others. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have theirs up yet, but IGN, who's actually been, I would say, even overly favorable of Wheel of Time, gave it a 5 out of 10, saying an arbitrary reveal and an over reliance on melodramatic relationship plots make The Dark Along the Ways the worst episode of the Wheel of Time so far. The worst episode? Really? I really like this one. I wouldn't give it a 5 out of 10. I'd be closer to like 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. This is pretty radical. When you told me this, I was shocked because last night, I mean, first of all, in terms of like views and just even our small little kind of community here, this was the best, we've had so far. We had so many people in and like they stayed in. Numbers were popping at other YouTube channels because this was a great episode. It was dramatic. It had something for just your show watchers. It had some great romance, some really good. I mean, they left us right at a point where, I mean, Rand just found out that he is the dragon. He's the dragon reborn. It's been revealed. It's like he has these moments. There's clip after clip. I mean, the opening, first of all, the cold opening on this one was so
In the
good.
Ways was
I'm shocked.
awesome.
I'm shocked. I'm honestly shocked. I think there was so much in the beginning. It does in the middle slow down. We calm down in Faldara and we explore sort of our inner feelings and emotions and relationships. And the team kind of comes to grips with losing Matt after they came back. So I felt I'm kind of blown away as you were pulling up a couple of different articles where people were giving it lower ratings or reviews. I know you said Rotten Tomatoes is not conclusive yet.
Not conclusive yet, yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, it's so crazy. Wow, I'm looking at Reddit, but sometimes Reddit can be, I mean, pretty things here saying I hated this episode, like really hated it. Felt like a cheap soap opera, romantic, drama. The scene where Nynaeve was watching Lan and then he just appears in front of her was so jarring and poorly executed. The scene where Rand was hitting the target with the inner monologue about being the dragon was equally bad.
Excuse me?
Wow.
Excuse me. It's so funny how and again, it's all opinion, right? Because these are people who write opinion pieces and whoever they are, they didn't feel those emotions. Let me tell you, when he's seeking the void and he's sinking those arrows and he had not sunk them before, I was like, this is a man dealing with his inner demons, right? And his like things he had heard from his father, the stories. He goes to men. Tell me I'm not the dragon reborn. And that's,
here we go. Here's somebody who's saying, and it's so weird because we get people who are show only, people who are book. Here's somebody who's saying, it's been the show itself has been up and down for me. I was pretty happy with the episode until they gentled Logain, which I thought was pretty mediocre. Then the one where they ignored all the main characters to focus on Steppen, I felt like was a waste of time. The one after that was weak but better, which would have been episode 5 where they show up to Tarvalin. This one, however, I was very satisfied with. I've still got complaints, but for the changes, I can see exactly why they did it. As long as there's still a good reason behind or good use of the time, I'm satisfied. That's why the Steppen episode bothered me so much. They had to cut a number of other things from the season to make room with something that amounted to nothing. Okay, so that would have been episode 5. That's when where Steppen dies. They have the funeral. So episode 6 would have been the Suan episode, last week's episode.
Yeah. Well, let me bring up another big member in our community, which is Matt Hatch over at the Dusty Wheel. He said this was his favorite episode. Numerous times he said it in his Twitter poll. It's out there in his thread. He's discussing it. Episode 7 is at the tippy top for him right now. And he's a big time book guy, big time book reader. And so I feel like a lot of people were on that thread. I just looked at it as well and saying the same thing. It's in the top in their top tier of episodes.
Yeah.
And it is for me, for sure.
Yeah, here's another Reddit comment. Let me just go ahead and pull this up
Yeah.
over here. Oh, excuse me. Good episode, good reveal. I think this is my favorite thus far. A lot of people complaining that either didn't read the books properly or in fact pure prudes themselves. Aged up characters shouldn't be prudish like in the books. Edit. Oh, and Perrin totally had a thing for Egwene in the books as well. He literally says so, just didn't act on it. I mean, that's like one line. We just talked about that.
Right.
And so it's kind of crazy to think, but yeah, so it's kind of, I mean,
Matt, I think
it's kind of up and down. And again, Reddit is also not like where I would look for every sort of proper review, but it's
no,
fans talking
you
about it,
get
and
a feel, a
it's
pulse on the
it's
community.
also it's also like the most hardcore fans.
Right. And here's something else too. Brandon Sanderson, I believe, said of these last 2 episodes, like this was one of his favorites. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You guys can check me on that in the comments, but I think this last batch here, he's been very highly impressed with. So there's kind of a big weigh in, if you will. Man, I'm
Here's
yeah.
an interesting comment. I also question even including Loyal because of just how little they're using him.
Yeah. You mean like just how in this episode he does?
Yeah, you could have saved time by perhaps introducing him later.
Yeah, I'm glad he's in for sure. I mean, definitely, you have to find someone who's willing to. He seems like he had more scenes and he was cut quite a bit, and they moved him around because he gets lost in Faldara. He's just wandering around. We asked the question, like everyone's in bed with someone else that night, and we wondered where did Loyal sleep? Right? Did he find himself a nice Ogier, bed or something? But man, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
great.
so far, it's just this whole it's so interesting because I remember after the first 3 episodes, it like seems like a lot of the book people were like really hardcore against it, and then I felt like people were coming back, and now it's like now it feels like we're all just split. We're either loving it or we're like, oh man, I don't know. But
Yeah,
I feel like there's genuinely more love. That's why I was really shocked actually when I saw the IGN review.
because that's the first
Because
one, really.
and
Though
not
that
that
I
IG and let's be fair, first of all, not that IGN is the best reviewer at all out there. It's just typically the one I see first. And it seems like I will say the IGN typically plays sort of favorites on a lot of things. And so they are genuinely pretty favorite to do show favoritism, I should say, to Wheel of Time. So that's why I was
they've
kind
been
of
given some
shocked because
exclusive stuff from Wheel of
exactly.
Time. Like they've had some exclusive things going on their channel.
And
So
that's why I was so shocked when I saw that because I was like, I loved the episode. So I'm like shocked that
I think you thought they were gonna love it
their
too. Yeah.
reviewer wouldn't like it either because I feel like I've been generally on the same page as them, and they've been giving episodes like 9s and stuff that a lot
Yeah.
of the community was like, I didn't agree with that. So it's always just interesting to get it. But leave us a comment, guys, and let us know. Did you
Yeah.
like the episode or did you not? In our live stream, we had around, I don't know, we had like 200 people in here hanging out live, and everyone was loving it. So
Yeah.
I'm actually quite shocked that maybe people didn't like this episode as much as we thought they did.
Yeah. Just just fair. Just put, liked it, loved it, or hated it. Just down in the comments, let us know. Also put a link to our Twitter poll. We'll run a Twitter poll here too, because I kind of want to see. I'm again just shocked by anyone disliking it. One more thing, Matt. I think it also could come down to expectations. I'm thinking about this person at IGN or whoever writes their reviews. If you thought this was going to be an
More
action heavy,
packed.
yeah, that's where you might have said, nah, you're in your mind, you thought we were going to have some more battling, more someone was going to die or whatever. And if we didn't get that, we got a more romantic, intimate, emotional episode. I can see why maybe that,
character development, and we've talked about this too, and the pacing of everything is that character development is like way further along.
Yeah.
And like plot, because we're heading into episode 8 and it's kind of like who's gonna be the dark one, I guess. Just gonna be but I feel like they should have given us another sort of dream,
I know. Yeah, that's we do need to build that up a bit more. We've just been talking about him, and I feel like we have lost track of, oh yeah, who is that guy? He needs to come back for sure. So
anywho, yeah, guys, leave us a comment and let us know what you think. And as always, remember that the grave is no bar to our call.